Hello my friends and welcome to the Mindful Making YouTube channel. My name is Jane and you have landed in the right place if you're into yarn and into knitting. I am recording this video from Allerød, which is north of Copenhagen. Today it is Tuesday the 5th of August and I hope you have something nice in your cup or some cold in your glass and your project ready, and let's start talking about yarn and knitting. But before we do that, I will just inform you a bit of the admin side of things. So you can find everything about me, my designs, on my website, which is mindfulmaking.com.au. There you can also find a link to the show notes of this episode, and where you can find links to patterns and makers that I talk about in this video, which is number 76. I do podcast in English, although I am Danish, and that's because I've just, or recently, within the last half year, returned back to Denmark from 12 years in Australia, and I have many Australian knitting friends. Hello down there, my Aussie friends. That I know will watch as well, and also welcome to around the world, wherever you are watching from. I'm happy that you have found back or just found me here on the internet on the Mindful Making YouTube channel. Let's start with yarn and with knitting and with the first, or actually the only, finished object for this episode, and that is the tee that I'm wearing. And this is a summer tee, and it's a design by Susie Haumann, and it's called Hvide Sande. And Hvide Sande is a Danish city and a beach on the western coast of Denmark. This tee is it's a simple raglan construction, and it's an all-over fisherman's rib. It starts at the top, so it's worked top down and around, and it has this folded neckline. And then it continues in beautiful, repetitive fisherman's rib. And yeah, I have loved wearing this. It hasn't actually been washed yet, but it's about time. And I finished it probably last week, so I have been wearing it a lot. I simply love this texture. I love the color, which is a soft white, and I love the yarn. The yarn is a 100% soft cotton. And it's a yarn that I inherited from my mum. When my siblings, I was in Australia, they were here. When they emptied my mum's house, when she passed away in 2023, my sister, who's also an avid knitter and a maker, took care of everything craft related that she thought of me in that process. And when I visited earlier in the year, we went through all yarn and fabrics, and I chose the items that I wanted for my stash and for my making. And this yarn was among those. And it is, of course, well, it's not of course, but it is an old yarn, and it doesn't exist anymore as far as I am aware. It is hjertegarn, and it's called Sagita, and it's soft cotton. And it's a thin cotton, so it's a 12. Normally a cotton would be a 4x8 or 4/8, and this is a 12. Oh, sorry. Just a bit of itchiness in my nose. Very soft and a bit thinner than the yarn that is used in the pattern. So I had to do a few modifications. I knitted this on a 275mm needle, I believe that is a US 2, and in the pattern they use a 3.5 millimeter with a gauge of 24 stitches in 10 centimeters, and mine is 27 stitches, so I recalculated the stitch count. Let me just show you the pattern. One moment. Should have put in a marker. So here it is. Hvide Sande. And in here it is knitted in Isager Bomulin and using a 3.5 millimeter needle. It's actually a 22 stitch count. I actually think I calculated based on a 24, but anyway, it fits beautifully. I am very, very happy with the fit. I will stand up so you can see it on the body. So this is how it looks. And I was thinking maybe I've just cut it slightly short in the body and also on the sleeves, but I actually like it. It feels and looks, as I find it, as I see it, sort of fresh and young. So I will see when it's been washed and blocked to see if I can just lengthen the sleeves just a tiny bit. But I can see a lot of wear with this top. I have worn it with a jeans jacket. That's not what it's called. Cowboy jacket. Or a blazer over a skirt as well as pants. So yeah, whenever I've worn it, I've had a lot of compliments, and ooh, I want to knit one too, and I might knit another one at a later stage. It did take a lot of knitting time. I think this was the only project I worked on through July. So there is a lot of work here, but I totally loved it, and I am in love with the result. I am a bit rusty, and I just I have recorded this video once, but when I started editing in the weekend, during the weekend, the quality of the footage was not up to scratch, and I wondered what had I done. You know, had I wiped the camera with a dirty cloth or something, so you sort of had this filter over it or film over it. But then I figured that when the last video was recorded, it used the camera, the inbuilt camera in the computer, and I have a webcam sitting on the computer now, so I hope the quality is as it should be, and that I can use this video, and that it will be available for your watching very, very soon. It's still summer here in Denmark. July is the big summer holiday month, so everybody is, not everybody, but a lot of people are off on holiday, and I had the absolute joy of going to Italy for a week, together with Anders and Asger, my sons, together with my brother and his family. Towards the end, you will see a short little video from our holiday there, and also in the introduction you saw a bit of sort of the flowers just around the house here. It's been a wonderful summer month, and it's still warm outside. Today it is a bit windy, and there's been some downpours lately around the country. That was the finished, the first and only finished knitting project. But in this episode, not only will you see a bit of, well, knitting as per usual, there's also a bit of sewing. And that leads me to the next finished object, which is a pair of shorts. It's hard to see and the sun comes in and out. There's a lot of windows here, so the light might change. But this is a pair of black linen shorts. They have pockets and there is a zip. And I wanted to finish these before our trip to Italy. I succeeded just a couple of days or maybe even the day before we left. So just in time, planning as per usual. I borrowed some magazines, sewing magazines at the library, and then traced the pattern on pattern paper. Cut out the fabric and sewed these up. They have, if you even can see that, these, which I don't know what it's called in English, leg. Put it down here if I find that word. And then pockets and the zipper. I had to just YouTube or find a few YouTube tutorials to remind myself of how to insert the zip. But they're lovely, maybe slightly too big. They fit around the waist, but there is a bit too much fabric in the length here, and also width-wise. So I will just modify the pattern slightly for the next pair, but for sure there will be additional pair of shorts and with linen fabric in my future. I used my mom's old sewing machine, which is the one that I used when I was a teenager. I made all my clothes myself when I was 13, 14, and just sitting in front of that reminded me of the many terrible moments and cherished moments that I had in front of that sewing machine. Halfway through though of this project, and apologies because my terminology of English sewing words is not there. So underneath, where you have the needle moving in and out, where you have the thread moving under, there is this little house compartment where dirt builds up, dust and dirt, and then a thread got stuck, and so it couldn't move. And then I was a bit of a panic because the shorts had to be finished. So I ordered online some sewing machine oil, and I was a bit nervous that it wouldn't arrive in time. So I went up to my storage room to find my own sewing machine that I brought from Australia. All my moving boxes, 50 of them, are in a storage facility 15 minutes from here, and found my sewing machine and brought it home. While I was up there, I also found my yarn. But I will come back to that later. Let's just finish the sewing story. Came home, and I think the next day though, the oil arrived. Few drops into that little chamber underneath, and my mom's old sewing machine, it's probably 50 years old, worked like clockwork again. I'm amazed. I am amazed of the quality of those old machines, and these pair of shorts are sewn on that machine. But coming back to the trip to my storage room. So I found the box with my yarn stash. I had packed it in vacuum bags, so it's soaking out all the air to reduce volume. And I brought home my stash, and now you will see me unpack that box of yarn. Unpacking that box of yarn was just like greeting an old friend, just feeling at home and just having all your children, dear children, that's not what I'm saying, but dear ones next to you or close to you. So it's still, you know, that big box is still in my little room, but I'm very happy that they are with me again, all my yarn. So in that box, I needed to find some tynd line garn that I wanted to use for a new project and the project that I'm currently working on. And this project is almost finished, but still going though. You might remember some videos ago that I talked about a yellow yarn, a golden yellow yarn that I was knitting up a jumper, and I was a bit worried that the color wasn't mine. Different opinions, but I frogged it. I decided it isn't as flattering as other colors, and I've sold some of the yarn, but I had this project in mind that I wanted to make, and a project that is heavily inspired by Tina Hverdagsro, using this golden color. And here it is. It is the Alpine Bloom, a design by Caitlin Hunter. Worked in tynd line on a 3.5mm needle, which is a US 4. Also in my stash I had this dark gray, and that was what I needed the box for, to retrieve this yarn, and that has then become the main color of my Alpine Bloom. The yarn, the suggested needles for the yarn is slightly smaller than the 3.5 as mentioned in the pattern, but I've decided to move ahead as directed in the pattern, and I really love the fabric. It's light, it's drapey, it's soft, and it's just wonderful. And with this color combination, I think I can wear that yellow much more easy with that dark against just close to my face. So it's a top-down round yoke construction, starting with this edge of lace neckline, round and round and round, with increases sitting along these lines here. And there is short rows in the back to increase the neck, to raise the neck, and then short sleeves with that, whoop, can you see that? This lace repeated at the sleeves. You start, well, you end the sleeves here, leaving them as live stitches on a wire. Then you make the lace edging, and then you graft it on with Kitchener stitches. I love this, and I've tried it on, fits perfectly. It's soft, it's cozy, it's still light, and it's still summery, although with these colors I can wear it into autumn and also into winter, possibly with a shirt underneath or a jacket on top. Yeah, so that is the Alpine Bloom. It has been an absolute joy to knit, and I think I've said that before. And just, you know, knitting round and in color work where you change things up and you have to pay attention each round it's just fun. You just need to go one an additional round. So I think I completed the color work in 4 or 5 days, and then it was just plain stockinette in the body, as I love, and I've watched some lovely movies and listened to my audiobook while knitting. So this has only taken me 10-12 days, and I will be done tonight. Just cast on the edging for the second sleeve, so that will be done tonight, and then weave in the ends, washing, blocking, and then I will wear this as well. So Tømline, this is, the gold is a discontinued color. The dark gray, which, well, it's a dark blue gray graphite type color, and the color code is 6080. Tømline from Sandnesgarn. It is a mixture of 53% cotton, 33% viscose, and 14% linen. It runs 220 meters per 50 gram, so it's a light fingering weight, sort of in between fingering and lace weight. I can highly recommend the yarn and the pattern. The yarn has or may have a tendency to split, so you just have to be aware that you capture all threads in the yarn. It's not, there's not much twist in it, so so the needle can insert itself in between the strands. So Alpine Bloom will soon be finished. I think actually at the moment I'm a bit of a monogamous knitter, that I work on one project at a time. What I'm also working on is just finalizing the Danish translation of the Janolan shawl, and I will just insert a picture up here so you can see the Janolan shawl, which is it's quite a big, generously sized shawl comprising 3 colors, and you can use any fingering weight yarn you have in your stash, combine hand dyed with commercially dyed yarn. The yarn that is used in the sample is a base called Romance, and it's a silk and merino wool blend, and it's kindly sponsored, thank you, kindly sponsored by Skein Sisters for this design. If you cannot get your hands on Skein Sisters, which Skein Sisters yarn, and that is a yarn shop in Sydney, any other drapey yarn can be used. I had also knitted up another sample that I will also insert up here, which is knitted up in a 100% alpaca. This yarn, specific yarns, are from Black Wattle, which is a hand dyer and an alpaca farm in Australia, in New South Wales as well, I believe New South Wales. But any alpaca, any merino silk blend, any merino can be used. So go stash diving and find some of your single skeins and match them together, add in a commercial yarn, and you have a shawl. So I'm working on the translation. The Danish translation of that pattern is already available in English on my website and on Ravelry, but the Danish translation will be out very, very soon. So keep an eye on Instagram, where I will share the news when it's ready. So that is also what I'm working on. Another work in progress. And now we are going back to sewing as well, and a different type of sewing, because this is sewing by hand. It is embroidering, if that's the right term, and there is a story behind this project. In the craft supplies my sister has put aside for me to look at, there was this envelope. And this was an envelope. It's sent to my mum on the 6th of March in 1958. And she has purchased this that I will show you just in a minute for 21 krona and 70 øre. And it is an embroidery kit. I fell in love with the motive and the colors. So if we start with the colors, here they are. These beautiful tones of green, added a bit of brown and blue. So mainly these green colors. And then the motif, which is actually, it's intended as a cushion cover. And it is a cushion cover with hyllebær. And I have to translate that as well. I'll put it in at the bottom. And this is the diagram of this cushion cover. I think I've put it the right way. Yes, this is the right way, turned the right way. I think I will put it in a frame and put it on the wall when it's finished. So beautiful, and well, you have to have good lighting, good eyes, and not be too tired, because it's not that easy to decipher these the diagram and the key and these small signs here to choose the right green color. But I have started. Originally, the fabric that it's sewn on is this that I'm unpacking now, and this is how far my mum got. Not too far, and I do think that she was very occupied as a new mom at that time. I added a few stitches, but soon discovered it's simply too fine for me to work with. So I purchased another sewing fabric that has these holes punctured, or the texture. And here we are. This is how far I have come. I totally love this project. Very, very addictive, very, very calming, almost as calming as knitting. And just fun to paint with this yarn, and building the picture slowly and steadily. It grows. Yeah, I will keep you informed and entertained with the progress of this project, but I just love the thought of finishing it off and treasuring a dream that my mum had when she purchased this project in her youth, and that, you know, it has stood the I'm about to say challenge of time, and that's not the right wording, but I pick it up once in a while, and I really enjoy just working with thread and needle. Yeah. So that is a work in progress. There's no, I have no set deadline for it. It's whenever I feel like working with the needle and beautiful colors. As we have moved into August, let's just look at how the year of making is going, has progressed. I have this knitting journal where I note a number of finished objects and meters of yarn that I've knitted up. I can say that in June I finished 7 objects, but in July it was only 1, and that's the one I'm wearing, and I only knitted up 870 meters of yarn during July. But so far this year I have used up almost 25 kilometers of yarn. So I'm very happy, and I also have extra knitting time this year, and I am totally treasuring that and enjoying my time. That's actually what I have of the creative and the making part. Thank you so much for watching this far. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and add the notification bell if you want to be notified when the next video is up. Since the last video, I think 100 new subscribers have been added, so a warm welcome to you. And if you want to hear more about, you know, more of my making, there are, yes, 75 other videos to look through. You don't have to look through them all, of course. But if you feel so inclined, you know, watch some of the previous episodes as well. I aim for recording and posting once a month. This time it was slightly delayed because of the technical glitch I had in the when last recording. Personally, sort of life update. Yeah, we've just been for a week of holiday in Italy, and you will see a short film at the end, just a few snippets of that trip. I had a wonderful time with my 2 adult sons. My daughter is back in Australia. So of course we missed her. We in Italy, it was in the northern part of Italy, in the Italian Alps, and we went for walks up in the mountains. One day we did a hike, which was I think 12 kilometers or so, and there were 800 meters of height difference up and then down again. And although that I am somewhat, well, at least fitter than I was before or early March, my legs hurt the day after, so I could barely walk, and whenever I stood up from sitting, it was just and yeah, the kids laughed. But it was a wonderful trip, beautiful landscape, beautiful weather, a mixture of lovely sun and also a bit of rain, and manageable temperatures, summer temperatures in the mid-20s. Loved it. Now back at work, and my work is still hunting for the next awesome job. I don't know if there's anything wrong with me. I feel that I apply for a lot of jobs, don't get that many interviews, and maybe it is a bit of age, and been away for a long time, or maybe I just need to up my game of writing applications and being out there. I love presenting, I love teaching, I love facilitating, I love working with change management and a project manager, and with the background within the pharmaceutical industry, so in life science. So if you know of anybody who needs somebody like me who can help drive a transformation program or an IT implementation or a process update or something, or just a program or project, let me know. I'll be happy to have a coffee and a chat. So that is still what is happening. I have decided to dedicate Monday through Wednesday to job hunting, and then Thursday to mindful making, to my designs, and then Friday to admin. That worked very, very well last week. I felt on top of things, I felt engaged and focused. This week less so, but I have sent the application today so I could talk to you. Here it is a Tuesday afternoon, which is not the mindful making day, but we can make it that any day. Knitting is also part of my everyday, of course. With that said, I will say thank you for joining me in this video, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy, and I hope you've knitted a lot during this time, and I'll see you soon. Bye.